Good morning. Today is May 6, 2012. Wanted to make a little video. I made a video last night with my Canon G12 outside walking around in the dark, and I mentioned this viewfinder that articulates. I uploaded the video, and I didn't realize, usually I think I notice when there's wind noise. I really didn't notice last night how much wind there was. So the audio is pretty poor, but I'm going to leave the video up anyway because I'm lazy, I guess. Anyway, I uploaded that video. This is the Canon G12 that I talk about. This is being recorded with my Logitech C920 camera. I'm using the microphones on the camera. I'm not using my Blue Snowball microphone. The last two videos that I made with the new C920 and using because I hooked up I thought I want to have this nice camera, I'll hook up my nice Blue Snowball microphone. Both those videos the video was breaking up in places, which I hadn't been having before. And I'm pretty sure I'm using a laptop as a desktop. Just got the laptop hooked up here. I just use it like it's a desktop. But not the most powerful computer in the world. I really need a desktop computer with some extra memory and a good video card and everything. I think the problem with the breaking up of the video, pixelizing of the video, because it happened before I uploaded it to YouTube, I think was because the Blue Snowball microphone also is USB, and I think it was just with the camera being USB and with the microphone being USB, I think it was taking too much of the USB channel, so I'll be using this microphone with the camera. What I wanted to mention something else. Oh, okay. No, I don't want to mention that now. I checked the obituaries. When I was a young kid, I couldn't understand why my parents every morning would check the newspaper, and they would check the obituary column, and then they'd say, "Oh, yeah, that's Bob. He's passed away. Oh, Mary, she died. That's why, it was like that." Now I'm checking the obituary. When you get to be a certain age, you check to see if your name's in there for one thing, and then you're checking to see if, which of your classmates have passed away. And I noticed last night that a doctor that worked at a hospital that I worked at, we weren't friends or anything. I mean, I knew him and I said hello to him, and he was real nice and everything. But that reminded me of a couple security things. So I'll make a little short video on hospital security and throw in those two little stories. Won't do that here. Let me pop up my blog, because there was some reason that I decided that I did get the money into my bank account from iTunes. iTunes, I told you about that, took out $32 out of my PayPal account. I don't know why. You know how those things are when they make those deductions like that. It just doesn't tell you this is for such and such. It is $32 iTunes taken out. So I contested the thing, and PayPal said the money was going to be refunded. It took a few days because it had to go in the bank account, because when they took out the $32, I didn't have $32. I think I had 3 cents in my PayPal account. So PayPal took it out of my bank account. So the money had to go in the bank, but it did turn up. That's good to know that if you do protest something that I don't know if I mentioned or not. I talk a lot about cable television on my blog, at least. Maybe not as much in the. Although I did make a sort of a long video when I had some problems with the cable television. But the other day I turned on the television, and even on the box it was scrolling. Normally where you have the time if it's not on, or you have the channel, it was scrolling. There was a message scrolling, and then on the screen it said, "Your digital cable has been disconnected. Please call 1-800." So at first I knew I paid my bill, but I checked. I have a bundled service. I have cable television with Charter. I have cable television. I have cable phone service. So I checked the phone. The phone was working. I checked my internet connection. It was working. I logged into Charter to make sure that that I had paid the bill and I was current and everything, and I was. So then I called them and got a person right away. At first they had to punch a number or whatever, but I got right away. I was afraid I was going to have to go through one of those things. Disconnect this box, disconnect that box, disconnect this. But no, I got a person right away, and they sent a signal, and it reset. But then the lady said, "Well, would you like to get another digital box, because we've got a whole bunch of new HD channels that are going to be coming to your area pretty quick." And I said, "No, it's okay. One box is enough." Then I went on the internet and did a search, and Charter in some of the cities, like in Missouri, a bunch of cities in Missouri, they've already kicked in the new thing they're doing. And in some other area, they kicked it in. So I guess it's going to be here in a month or two. They're adding 29 HD channels. And then they're moving the channels around. I think all of the channels moving around a bit. So that'd be kind of confusing for people. And you'll have to, I'll have to change my DVR things where I have set to record, shows every week or every day or whatever it is. Those things have to be changed. But I think it's a good idea. They're changing it around, so because that's a problem I have. I'll be, they got all these channels that are like, especially your local channels, your local stations, that they'll have on there that are not digital. And then they have them all on digital, that are digital, or I mean high definition. And so you don't want to watch it if you got a high definition television or whatever. You don't, and it's so they're going to group them together. So because I guess a lot of people are probably complaining about that, so they're going to group them together, so move them around a little bit. But the HD channels, 29 of them. I tried to, man. I've got so many channels now. I don't know what in the hell I've got, And there's a lot of things on that. Whoops, I didn't know that was on, But kind of hard to tell if these new 29 channels. Well, they're not. Most all of them are not new extra channels. What they are, they're HD channels, which is great. And I hadn't even noticed before. I pay for HBO. I hadn't noticed it. I watch these HBO shows, and I hadn't noticed that they weren't in HD. Well, they're adding a bunch of these new channels are like HBO and HD and some other things. So that's good. But that was not what I had intended. Let me look at my blog here. Show me blog. Where are you? Okay, this is the obituary on the doctor who passed away. And then I actually tell the story sort of on there. Well, the fancy moon thing, I mentioned that in that video that I made last night, but it was cloudy. Just a little bit of clouds here in Fort Worth, so couldn't see the big moon. Let me just, this is not what I wanted to comment on, but let me comment on this. There's a congressional race in North Carolina, and there's 9 Republicans running for the Republican candidate slot. And it's important. Politicians love to get these endorsements of newspapers. So this Republican, Jim Pendergrass, who's running there, he got the endorsement of the Charlotte Observer newspaper. They endorsed him. Out of these 9 people, they said, this is the Republican this is the man you should vote for. And then the week after he got this endorsement, he brought in the Arizona sheriff, Joe, Apiccio, the guy who the FBI and Justice Department is investigating for crimes, the guy who calls himself America's sheriff, and Republicans just love him. He abuses people's civil rights. He's abusive of the powers that he has as sheriff. He has the inmates outdoors in tents. This is just Arizona, He has them outdoor in tents. He makes the men wear pink underwear. Just what an asshole. Well, but the Republicans love him. And this Jim Pendergrass, who had the endorsement of the Charlotte Observer, had this sheriff come out from Arizona to North Carolina to endorse him, to speak for him, to tell everybody how great this, so I'm sure the Republicans just ate it up, having this tough sheriff. He didn't take anything off. He's Hispanic, coming across the border, and they check. Just the guy is. Anyway, so after this campaign deal, the Charlotte Observer wrote retracted their endorsement of Jim Pendergrass and said that vote for one of these other 2 Republicans, that are running instead of him. But what they said, and I love it when, even if it were a Democrat, when somebody does something stupid, I like to see them have consequences of it. So many times people do things. You got is he a congressman or a senator that recently said that there's 89 communists in the House of Representatives. 89. I didn't know there was one communist. In fact, I don't know where you can find a goddamn fucking communist or where, but he says there's 89, and of course he's talking about Democrats, and he makes these kind of statements all the time, and nothing happens from it. I like to see consequences when somebody really fucks up and does something really stupid, and it pisses me off when it doesn't. Well, anyway, this newspaper said, quote, after winning the Observer's endorsement in his bid for Congress, he has done nothing but embarrass us and himself by buddying up to one of America's most hateful egomaniacs, and then joining with the fringe birthers to question President Obama's citizenship. Pendergrass has contradicted much of what he told the Observer editorial board in his endorsement interview last month. As a result, we have lost faith in him, and we urge voters to consider Edward Peacock or Rick Killigan in the 9th Congressional District race. So, which kind of ties in with this in a way. I guess CNN ratings are way down. And I saw somebody wrote a blog entry or a comment someplace. I might have seen it from the Huffington, somebody about that. And man, they nailed CNN. It was like, why is CNN's ratings the lowest it's been in 10 years? Why are they, and then it named a lot of the things that I had talked about, the stupid stuff that they do. So that was, but the news media has really, it's just got totally stupid. You've got Fox News, which my problem with Fox News is, that they say fair and balanced. If Fox News would just say, we're the Republican front group, we're like Radio Moscow or Pravda was for communism, for the USSR. We're that for the, Republican Party. We are the spokesman. Then I would be fine. I would, when something happened, a news item, I'm going to switch over and see what the Republican Party's position is on that. But when they say we're fair and balanced, and they do the type of crap that they do, running a banner along the bottom saying, they'll be talking about something, is Obama a communist? And then if somebody were to challenge them about that, they'd say, no, there was a question mark after that. We were asking if he was a communist. But anyway, but the other media, it's just totally got crazy. I don't understand why, with this Republican who says, the news media or somebody said, or at an event he was saying, there are 89 communists, in the House of Representatives that I serve with. I mean, when the media interviews him or something, they should say, you said there were 89, would you name these 89 people? They should really challenge him. Really say, this is McCarthyism, which this is, attack him. Go after him. And same thing if some Democrat were to say, if something, wouldn't be saying that, if he said something else, if it's really, then go after the person. And but what the news media does is, they'll say, Congressman so-and-so said that there are 89 communists in the House. And so then let's bring in our experts. And then they bring in an expert. Are there 89 communists in the House? And the expert will say, well, no, because there are, the expert will say, well, no, but what he was talking about was, the liberal member Democrats, but it shouldn't be, if somebody gets on, the Holocaust never occurred. So then you're going to call in your experts and say, did the Holocaust, I mean, you just say you're fucking crazy and get off the fucking, well, you can't say fucking or the FCC will come and get you, but say you're not even, don't even, you're not even allowed on CNN, just say, I don't know. I'm just too fucking old, and I can't put up with this crap. I mean, we have to have elections, but God, I mean, I'm 71 years old. I don't want to go to sleep and sleep. I don't want to go to sleep and sleep for 6 months. Just, I'm not rich. If I were rich, I guess I'd go down to Australia and spend 6 months in Australia till the U.S. election was over or something. But stupid craziness. Anyway, how did I get on this subject? I always get on that subject. Thanks for watching.